Oh my God, the stream is live. Hey Chad.
Yeah.
You know what else is live?
What's that?
The DCU.
It is. It is live.
What?
I'm wondering if I'm testing to see. We've never done this before. I'm trying to make sure it's actually on the channel.
Oh, I see. Well,
this is
for
good.
those.
Oh yeah, we are. Okay, good.
And no one's watching this, but if anyone, if anyone is, it's our first time doing this. So I hope you can see us and hear us and all that stuff. So forgive us for technical difficulties.
We are live, and I don't know if we're gonna be able to see comments here or not. I don't know how that works.
Probably if you click on comments over on the right.
Genius.
Join the chat. I will join the chat. Connect to comment. I will. Oh wait, sign in. I don't like that.
All right, well, whatever. We don't have to.
Whatever. We don't have to engage.
There's going to be nobody. We have a viewer of one. That's me right now.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
That's fine. And this is probably recording as well, in case we want to post it somewhere.
It better be.
Oh, snap. Yes, Chad, we just watched the birth of the DC universe.
Yeah.
It is not what I would have chosen to birth the DC. I loved it, of course.
Yeah.
It was totally James Gunn. And that's a good thing. What were your takeaways?
Well, yeah, it is funny, and you've mentioned many times since this whole thing was announced that, like, we're going to start with Creature Commandos, and you're like, okay.
I think he's following his bliss, which maybe that's a good or bad thing. I think that it's literally just the thing that excited him the most. Like, I want to jump from Peacemaker to that.
Yeah.
And, somewhere along the line, we're also doing Superman. Like, good.
Well, and what's also possible, I don't know if he said this or not, but since that was something that he knew was going to be ready first, it's possible that they had started production on that before he actually took the job as the studio head, because he was already doing stuff for them. He said he was offered the Superman job like a year before they offered him the studio job too. So that was which he initially declined the Superman job. So it was all, I don't know. We'll find out, but it's just, it is kind of funny, and it's very much. There was an interview he did recently where he was talking about tone and how the DCU is going to be very variant in tone, diverse in tone. Like, you're not, this cartoon, this series is very much in the vein of Peacemaker and
Suicide Squad
and the Suicide Squad. And it's like taking the humor and the setting and the characters from those two properties or those two stories and kind of cranking up the salaciousness and the weirdness and the violence up a notch. I
think that this is, and I mean it in the best possible way, but what you see here is he has a formula, and that's not a bad thing, but he's got when I'm watching this, it feels like Guardians and feels like, the Suicide Squad, because what he does is he has this sort of, and he's got a really adept way of doing it. He loves a group of extreme personalities bouncing off each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's obvious. I mean, obviously you can have, there's bad. You can have TV shows or movies where there's not a lot of dynamics. This one is something where he's like going, give me the weirdest ones. And he always does kind of have, here's the ultra violent one. Here's the incredibly innocent one. It's like, because you have to have like the good one and the one that's confused by everyone else's anger and issues. And it's like, okay, so you've got, Nina. You've got Nina Mazursky. Hey, Just James. And hello.
Hey. We have an audience.
James, I'm impressed and frightened that you're here. Anyway,
thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for joining us.
I hope you guys have watched the first 2 episodes of the premiere, because we are spoiling everything.
We definitely will. We will be spoiling it. And like I was saying, it's like Nina, she's your Mantis. It's like that, or the rat catcher from the Suicide Squad.
Right.
And it's not that he's cutting and pasting. These characters all have backstory. And the thing he's so good at is you'll be sitting there going, well, this is just going to be chaotic, fun, dumb. And then he'll just like undercut it with like, you don't understand. There's this emotional backstory that this character's working through. Like that second episode, which is all about the bride. It's like, oh, dude, he's hitting James Gunn beats where you're like going, oh, now it's tragic. It's like she was like the toughest and she's totally acerbic. And then it's like, well, the backstory is, you know, she fell in love with not the person she was supposed to. But then, of course, that person was taken away. You know, it's like, wow. So, I mean, it is typical James Gunn, but that is a good thing. So, in other words, I enjoyed it. Was I, of course, watching both episodes going like, what else you got, huh? And I was sitting there going like, you going to put some more of that universe in there? That's the problem, is that we're so, me and you, I think, probably totally excited about, oh my God, this is where a universe is kind of, it's not literally at start, but we're dropped in and this is our first taste of it. So I'm sitting there going like, Belle Reve, of course, it's going to be Belle Reve. There's the prison. It looks exactly like it does in the comics. Which characters are they using? Oh, they're using those characters. That's great. Who's the guest star? Who's the cool voice they're going to have? Like Peter Serafinowicz is Dr. Frankenstein. It's like, oh, great. Even if we never see him again. And what else was totally, well, Cersei. I mean, that's your direct connection. And you know, they talk about Themyscira. And
right off the bat. That was
right off the bat.
So much fun. Yeah.
It's like, there's Wonder Woman right there. Or at least there's the world that she's from. And the idea that Cersei using idiot men, incels, as her army is perfect, both as social commentary and also the fact Cersei from myth, that's the whole thing, is she bewitches men and she turns them into beasts, which she didn't do in this, but still I was like, awesome, man.
She did turn her arms into
well, I think
whatever you call those things, the
promotional balloon
dancing things.
Yeah. I just was you know, again, that's all funny, but it still ends up being highly dramatic and great. And they changed some characters' powers and origins, and that's what James Gunn feels free to do.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how many of these characters are you familiar with from the comics?
I'm familiar with all of them, but not most of the characters in here were never Creature Commandos, or were from the later Creature Commandos from like the New 52 or Rebirth. Like Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, which was Grant Morrison. That was the first time the Frankenstein monster was turned into a hero in the DC universe. And you're like, okay. And that's fairly recent. And the Bride and all that. These are, Nina is from the new version, but he changed her origin. In the comics, she is one of the main scientists who's responsible for the creation of some of the new Creature Commandos. She did the whole turning into a gill person to herself. Oh, okay. And in this version, she's talking about, oh, my father, you know, he was a scientist, and she's like going, I'm not human. And it's like, in the comics, you're human who turned into a gill person, and that's why your name is Nina Mazursky. And
the Bride points kind of has a line that points that out too.
Yeah, so yeah. He's like, you're also the most human of us. Is basically like, you have a heart and soul, where a lot of us are jaded and whatever. Dr. Phosphorus was never a Creature Commando. He's a long-standing DC villain. And come on, you can't go wrong with Alan Tudyk. You just can't. You can't go wrong. Is it Batman usually fighting Dr. Phosphorus? He's fought everybody at some point. So Weasel, obviously never a Creature Commando. GI Robot was never a comedy character, but also was never a Creature Commando. However, man, this is me getting nerdy. Nerdy
here.
That's why we're here.
Do it.
James, are you okay with us being this nerdy? You've been very quiet. Oh, I've already put him to sleep. It's been 5 minutes. Just James is now absolutely drifting away. Sound of our voices. Anyway, so the whole thing is GI Robot was from Weird War Tales, which was I think that's the one. That was the same comic. Oh, good. More
good.
We got you covered. Weird War Tales was the same comic the Creature Commandos debuted in. So the whole idea of Weird War Tales was just like, it's all set in World War II, but these are individual. Like, he didn't cross over with Creature. Maybe he did. Yeah, maybe he did. GI Robot may in fact have crossed over with the original Creature Commandos, which had a werewolf, a vampire guy. It's like the leader of the team was a woman doctor, but she had snake's hair. She was a Medusa type. Yeah. So in other words, that we didn't get any of those guys. One thing I love about hold on, I unplugged.
Oh, I can still hear you.
One I unplugged my earphones. Right. The one thing I loved about the vampire guy from the original Creature Commandos, his name was Count Velcro. And they were just using it like, that sounds Eastern European. But it had nothing to do with Velcro.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is like this hodgepodge. He just grabbed characters he thought would be fun to bounce off each other. And the Bride and Frankenstein are actually the newest creations that are in this team, at least as far as how long they've been in comics. Like, they're from the 2000s. Yeah. They're
wow.
Very recent.
I just assumed they went all the way back to the early.
No. Literally, there was I can't remember what his name was, but there was a stitched together Frankenstein-esque original Creature Commando, but he was not literally Frankenstein's creature. The idea is that all the Creature Commandos were actual just human test subjects and mutants that happened to look like classic monsters. And so, like, the War Department goes, hey, you guys would probably really unnerve the Nazis, so we'll put you in a unit together. It's like, look out, here comes a Dracula and a werewolf and a Frankenstein's monster. Which was fun. And obviously James Gunn loved it. Those guys probably debuted in the late 70s, early 80s. Maybe sense. The original Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
But anyway, as far as this team, he pegs everybody. He cast everyone so well. And again, hold on there, James, to see. Are you guys hopeful James Gunn will do justice to the DC universe? I am. What about you, Chad?
I am. Yeah, and the thing is, everybody has different opinions about what that means.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was one of those reasons I mentioned it earlier, that interview he gave recently. I can't remember who he was talking to, but he talked about how this thing they're creating is going to be very diverse in tone. And so it's like, people like, we were worried when we first heard this. Oh, does this mean like Superman's going to be all jokey and with needle drops of popular songs like we had in this show?
Well, one thing, talk about that soundtrack, by the way. It was just sitting there going like, what are these choices? These are awesome, but what are these? This wasn't like him like doing the Guardians thing where it's like, well, this really was top like 40, 70.
It was all Gogo Bordello. It was all,
I think so.
Which was great. And Eugene Hutz actually had a cameo.
Yes,
towards the end of it.
That was awesome.
So I think he's hinted in some of the comments he's left on social media that Superman's not going to be a needle drop movie. It's not going to be like that.
Here's the thing.
Pretty interesting to see
this. I would say to you, James, that it's interesting. And by the way, for James Gunn, well done. But I will say that my trust in him, as far as whether I'm hopeful or not, I am, just because this could lead people who are being very cynical to go, oh boy, here we go. It's just going to be the James Gunn-a-thon, and every project he does is going to have this kind of sense of humor and this kind of like crazy zaniness and inappropriate for kids sexiness and whatever. But at the same time, the guy knows how each character should be dealt with. Oh, hi, Indy Phantom. Awesome. And hi, Matt. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
So to answer your question, James, I do trust him. I just think that he's a good storyteller and he'll fit the material to the character. So there might be a fun tone to Superman, which I don't mind at all, as long as it's smart. Loving the hell out of the channel, guys. Thank you. Superman 2 breakdown.
Have you seen the trailer?
I have to apologize because we nerded out, and as we said on the first one, we went down the love hole for 1 and 2, definitely.
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Did you see the trailer? Did you see the previews for the next episode? I saw some of it. I got up and I was like, oh damn, they're playing something. I can't.
No, they did
they did a teaser for next week,
3.
but unfortunately, I wasn't really paying attention.
We were so like trying to get this thing long.
I was.
So you guys saw it.
Yeah.
I just want a Superman movie that gives me hope. Absolutely,
Me too, man.
brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm also stoked, Indie Phantom. That's the thing, is that it's you guys probably know, and ladies, don't mean to gender, but anyway, I'm sure all of us, if you're fans and if you're here, you're probably Superman fans. We're all I hope we're all anxiously excited and not ready to, damn a thing before there's evidence of what it'll be. I can't wait for the first reveal of the poster. I can't wait for the trailer that should be dropping in probably a couple weeks. And I'll be, probably contacting Chad wherever I am when it happens. I don't care if I'm on public transportation.
I know it's gonna.
I'll be like, did you see it? Did you see it? Anyway, all I hope is that JG does. Oh boy,
yeah,
it's like, of course,
yeah,
I could do better. Oh snap! I'm coming for Zack Snyder. No, I'm just joking. Oh, glad that you enjoyed our Superman 2 breakdown. The third one, by the way, which we'll talk about, because I did watch Superman 4 and we haven't talked about it yet, Chad. We will.
Yeah, this week we're going to talk about it finally.
But I was surprised at all the responses to the Superman 3 breakdown. A lot of people were just like, I just saw it when I was a kid and I still love it. A lot of people were so positive about it, and I'm like, good for you guys. I saw it at 55 and hated. Okay, anyway. The characters introduced in animation, which are you most what are you hoping? Oh, that's a good question.
Like on the show?
I think so, yeah, from like this.
Obviously, yeah. I want to see Bride. I want to see Bride, man. She's cool.
She is, and of course, the way he cast everybody, you look at their pictures and you're like, yeah. Indira Varma, I've always loved, and she would be awesome. She is that statuesque and beautiful, and she could kick all of our asses. So the Bride, I would say yes. I've already seen Weasel. He's a CG, so I'm not that excited. I would love to CGI robot. I just want to see a robot walking around talking about killing Nazis constantly.
I want to see them all, but I'm really taken with Indira Varma's portrayal.
Of course, of course, and I will say that Zoe Chow would be interesting to see her as Nina, because she's not quite the full-on match. A teaser soon, hopefully.
Yeah, they're saying that rumors are it's going to be this month.
Yes,
people seem to be divided.
I mean, he just said somewhere in December, which, like, thanks, James.
He did say that?
He did. He said it would be December, but we just don't know when, or is it going to be in front of a specific movie, or is it going to be a web release first? We don't know.
Okay.
Next chapter. I don't know. Will it also be
of Commandos?
It's night. Is it going to be a Wednesday night thing?
They come out on Thursday, so it's probably going to be
Thursday. Yes,
for us it'll be Wednesday nights.
I'm not sure I'll always be up at midnight because I'm getting old.
We're going to do these live streams as often as we can. We're not always home when these things happen, unfortunately.
No, and where Chad is, not to spoil it, he's 2 hours ahead, so it's 3 in the morning where you are, Chad?
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't care. He's a rocker. I will be on board for Supergirl and Batman 89. Yes. I also bought those retro comics on Kindle. Yeah.
I forgot I put a poll up for which one should we do after Superman 4, and Supergirl was overwhelmingly chosen.
Well, and that's the flip, because for you guys, if you follow the channel, it's the flip, as in Chad's never seen it.
I've never seen it. Yeah.
And I have. I didn't see it when it came out originally. It was like a video rental years later. It was another one I avoided. I was like, I don't hear it's good. And then I watched it, I was like, it's not good. And I again, what I always say on the videos is, if you're a fan, good on you. It's like, if that is your happy place, I'm glad.
Yeah.
But man, just wait, Chad, till you see the comic duo that is Faye Dunaway and Brenda Vaccaro.
Oh man.
Batman 89, talk about a love hole. Sorry. I can nitpick that one, but I can nitpick anything, but I love Batman 89.
Yeah, I want us to veer into Batman. I don't know if the algorithm will like it, but I hope you guys will.
In China, and it's 5 p.m. Is it 5 p.m.?
Oh wow!
As in today, as in the 5th of December.
That's cool, man. Wow.
Indy. That's
Small
great.
world.
A Canadian in China, which I think was a great Jean Le Carré novel. I don't know what that means. And Just James, there will always be a deep dive on the classics.
Yeah, that's how this channel started, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new stuff that comes along, but it takes absolutely no prompting for me to start talking about something from 1977. It's there.
Yeah.
And I will forgive the original stuff. I can't forgive Challenge of the Superheroes, or was it in the Legends of the Superheroes, the live action TV special? Do you remember that, Chad, from the 70s?
No.
With Adam West and Burt Ward coming back as Batman and Robin in the 70s for a primetime TV special.
Oh, maybe I did see this. Yeah.
Superman's not in it, but it's like a guy is playing Captain Marvel, and there's a Green Lantern and a Hawkman. And the joke with Hawkman is every time they cut to him, he just makes a bird noise. He never actually has dialogue. He just goes like this and goes, ah!
I do have a vague memory of that now.
It's horrible because
I probably only saw it once. Yeah.
All the villains are played by stand-up or comics. Like, it's like, oh, there's Charlie Callis as Sinestro or whatever. It's horrible. Anyway, okay, Indy Phantom, thanks for letting us know. Brightburn, interesting. Yeah, the Supergirl movie.
Supergirl, definitely. That's going to be.
And hello, Donnie. Recent addition. Brightburn is the anti-Superman origin movie.
I haven't actually seen that. Brightburn. I've seen. I know about it. But
it got ignored very quickly. And it is kind of like it's not a joke, but it's a one concept premise which goes there. It's like, this is what would happen if it was actually sent to Earth. There was a superpowered being sent to Earth as the advanced force of like, well, you're going to dominate and take over the planet. So there was a comic series that Rick Veitch did. Do you know Rick Veitch, Chad? He was one of the guys that did Swamp Thing with Alan Moore. The classic Great Thing. And he took over when Alan Moore left Swamp Thing. He's very dark and cynical comic writer. And he did an independent comic miniseries called Max Immortal, which was his take on like, this is what would have happened if Superman really had landed in our real world. And it has him accidentally killing people and becoming a horrible dictator. It's great. Anyway, I don't recall. Oh, the Spider-Man 70s TV show.
I loved that when I was a kid.
Bionic Woman,
all that stuff, man. Yeah.
Here's what I'll tell you. And Chad, I don't think I've told you this. Like a couple of years ago, during the pandemic, when I was like, I have to exercise and I can't really leave. There is a little gym in our building, and I would go to the treadmill. And that was when I did a rewatch of all of $6 Million Man. From the first episode to the last, I would watch one episode on the treadmill every day. So it's like, oh, an hour walking. That's good. I revisited the entire thing. Well, a lot of it's not good. I mean, there were certain episodes that really like, oh my God, the nostalgia buttons got pushed really hard and I loved it. But yeah. Well, every time Jamie Summers would show up, the Bionic Woman.
If anything, we gotta, Anyway, we gotta give credit to that show for creating one of the coolest sound effects in TV history.
Yes. No, I revisited those, and our friend of the show, John Campbell, who has been a guest on our show.
Yep.
He did a rewatch. He's not our age. He's a younger guy, but he and his friend Mike Gargoni, they did a rewatch of the 70s Incredible Hulk from the beginning to the end, and they called it The Green Mile. They did that podcast, The Green Mile. Come on, that's great.
Yeah.
And then when they finished, they did, this is for you, Indy Phantom. They did a podcast that was a rewatch of the entire 70s Spider-Man, which did not last as long. So they were able to, and what did they call that one? It was something like, it was something with, it's called, no, dang it, I can't remember. They're going to do Wonder Woman next, and they're going to call that one Spin City because of the way she changes. Oh, that's a great title.
That's a really weird show too, because they did. When did they change time periods? Was that from like
it was the first season to the second season? Yeah,
they just pretended like it had an alternate universe where it's 50 years.
No. They acknowledge
30 years in the future.
They acknowledge it.
Did they really?
Basically, at the end of World War II. Sorry, guys, we got into this thing. At the end of World War II, supposedly, meaning the end of season 1, she went back to Paradise Island and just hung out. And then she comes back in the 70s. She did not marry or hook up with the original Steve Trevor. Then she meets his son, who looks exactly like him, and is Steve Trevor Jr. Okay. Literally, it's so Lyle Wagner could just like go, nope, I'm the son of the guy I played last season. And that was them moving it to the present day.
Well, at least she didn't wish his soul.
It was really about money.
Into some guy's body.
Yeah. I like a lot of Wonder Woman 84, but that it's uncomfortable. Anyway, Just James, Brightburn, meh for you. Kind of same here, but there was some good stuff. Super from James Gunn. Have you ever seen that, Chad?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It was very dark.
It was dark, but you had Rainn Wilson.
But yeah.
Perfect casting. The $6 Million Man sets. The early ones. Actually, weirdly, I kind of like the early ones better, indie fandom. No offense. Only because at the beginning they were really trying to make it like sort of like cyber espionage for the 70s. And then it becomes a comic book. Not saying that's so bad. But yeah, the later episodes when he's fighting robot Sasquatch and stuff, I certainly have a fondness for that too. I had the action figure. That's all I'm saying. Deborah Winger played WW's younger sister. Yeah.
I do remember that. I was just talking about that recently.
Drusilla. There was already a Wonder Girl in the comics. Why didn't they just make her Donna Troy? They came up with Drusilla. Oh, that's a great question, Just James. Well, here's the thing I'll say to you on that is WB Animation has adapted almost all those great stories as very good adaptations for animation. So live action, I'm not sure they would go back to the same well.
Oh, yeah, they did do Red Sun, didn't they?
And they did Public Enemies, too. Right. And every time they adapt one of those classic stories, they try to adjust the art style to look like the artist who did the comic. Because Public Enemies, the animated, it looks a lot like Ed McGuinness's drawings from the Public Enemies, Superman, Batman. Let me think. The perfect one is Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Alan Moore just wrapping up all of Silver Age classic Superman with a two-parter that hits you in the feels. There you go. Yeah, Andre the Giant. He was one of them. Then it was also Ted Cassidy, who was Lurch. They swapped out the robot Sasquatch. Man, why do I know this?
That's the podcast title right there.
I know. Why do I know this?
The robot Sasquatch.
Yeah. Is it up into the sky? Is that, or is it up and away? Donnie, I think I know the one you're talking about. That was a good one. I think that's from the 2000s. It's not that far back, I think. The thing is that, there have been so many amazing little takes. Yeah, Tom King. Chad, I've told you about Tom King.
Oh yeah.
Essentially, Tom King can do no wrong, though John and I have had arguments about Strange Adventures.
Yes.
Which was his take on Adam Strange. And it was very well written because Tom King's such a good writer. I was just like going, dude, you kind of crapping on that character, and I don't feel comfortable with this. I felt protective. I wanted to protect Adam Strange. Anyway.
He's bringing us back on topic.
Oh, you didn't get to see it. You haven't seen it. Yeah, I do. Oh, you mean the comic? Great. Yeah.
Oh, the comic. Yeah, okay.
The source material isn't awesome. It's fun comic stuff, especially what happens is if you read the original stuff, that's very 70s and it can be goofy, but I do like that stuff. The redone stuff from the 2000s, the New 52 and Rebirth, I mean, you have Grant Morrison doing some of that, and it's going to be crazy wild. Frankenstein Agent of Shade, S.H.8, blah, blah. That, which is this Frankenstein's monster that we're getting in the animated show, it's crazy good. And the every version of the Creature Commandos is worth reading, but it was never going to be a huge title. It's fun stuff. So I think you'd enjoy it, is what I'm saying.
So makes sense that James.
Yeah, it
makes
like, sense that,
I'm going to turn
James
this into
Gunn's
something
like,
huge.
I want the weird. Give me the weird. Oh,
he hasn't seen it yet. Yeah.
Indie Fandom, we liked it. I'm speaking for both of us. Chad, do you have?
Yeah, it wasn't like didn't blow my mind. It was pretty much exactly what I expected.
Yeah, it was James Gunn
and the people that he works with. It's very much in line with the same kind of humor that's in Peacemaker, but it has its own character, it has its own personality too.
Yes, yeah.
But it's a direct spinoff from that storyline. You have
some
of the same characters, and
you have Amanda Waller at the very beginning saying,
right.
"Oh, that's Weasel, the only survivor of what we call Project Starfish, or the Starfish mission, or whatever it was."
I like that they,
the Suicide Squad.
It was very classic exposition. In the
Indie Fandom, log off right now. Log off right now and finish Penguin.
It is so good.
So good. It's so good that I hope they allow Matt Reeves to just keep on making his Batman verse. And James Gunn will give us another Batman. I think the world can handle multiple Batman. You know what I just heard from John today, because we were talking earlier about this upcoming thing. And I was like, I need to get back into Superman and Lois, because apparently it ended so well. Apparently people are like, man, that was a perfect ending.
It did. I just watched the finale tonight, actually.
I wanted to catch up because I'm behind on that. And John said, the only reason they canceled that, its numbers were fine, but apparently it was James Gunn saying, or the studio with James Gunn saying, yeah, they don't want any brand confusion. So they needed to end Superman and Lois before Superman the movie comes out.
Yeah, that's a shame.
If that's true, that sucks. Yeah, Indie Phantom backing us up. Oh no, actually he's responding to Just James.
Yeah, Just James.
Yeah, Penguin was so, and I was prepared to. I mean, I wasn't prepared to not like it. I was prepared to go, well, okay, what are you going to do with that character? Over across multiple episodes without Batman in it. And then it just turns out to be a showcase of really great writing, really great direction, and amazing acting. That was amazing cast. So I know it's not official DCU canon. I don't care. Just like I can sit there and read Superman 78, the comic miniseries, love it, and then jump over to monthly, the standard in canon Superman comics, love it, and they're not the same at all. You're like, okay, Superman and Lois has got powers now. They're all a super family, and everything is, elastic. That's a great thing about comics. It's like, if this isn't your favorite era of Superman, wait 5 minutes. It's like they'll reverse all these things. Eventually they won't be married anymore, and they'll go back to not having kids, but then they'll be, no, those characters still exist in another universe. Comics. Yeah. It's all jibber jabber.
We're getting back. Was it Just James who asked about the future of the DCU? I think so. Yeah. It just made me think that what we've seen of Superman so far is from especially from all the leaked photos from Cleveland, is that we've got superheroes working together. And that is one of the things that is, I think, the thing I've seen that gives me the most hope. In addition to I just like that he put the S back on the cape. That's a good sign. But I mean, we've got teamwork, and that's right off the bat.
Not just
teams of superheroes working together.
I do love that, but not just that. It's also the thing that, and it's daring, but it's also great counter programming to what Marvel's doing. Marvel stumbled upon a connected universe, and they did it brilliantly. And I still love the MCU. I'm working on another spec script that will never be read, but I'm working on a Rick Jones special, just like a 1 hour special, like they did with Werewolf by Night. Not a whole series of Rick Jones, but I was like, they haven't brought him into the MCU. I got to do it. So anyway, I love Marvel, but what James Gunn is doing as counter programming is he's dropping us into a universe in progress.
Yes.
Where I love that concept, where I don't know if Superman's going to have been active for a year or 4 months when we see him. I have no idea, but there have been heroes running around for a good long while.
Yeah.
And in World War II, there was a robot that killed Nazis. We now know that is canon. Colin Farrell is damn impressive. You're absolutely so right.
Yes, yes. That was one of the most
Oh,
amazing things about that show too. Is I thought, well, why, if they want a guy who looks like that, why not just cast a guy who looks like that?
that was the big argument when The Batman came out. They're
well,
like,
now,
he's of course a great actor, but there were actually, heavy set actors going,
sure,
"You took jobs away from us."
But the thing is, Colin and that makeup and the makeup artist and Colin together created somebody that nobody else could have.
Unbelievable.
Done. And that was obvious.
Best fat suit work I've seen since Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy. I'm not making a joke. Eddie Murphy and Nutty Professor, that's great fat suit work and a really good acting job.
That should be a category.
Donnie, Sean Gunn always delivers. His weasel is just making weasel noises, but very well. And he's also GI Robot, so he gets to deliver a lot of fun stuff about, is this one a Nazi, a dirty, filthy Nazi? Should I kill him now? And yes, I think he'll be in Superman. He's Sean Gunn is Maxwell Lord.
That's right.
In the DCU.
That's right.
He's your new Maxwell Lord, the character that Pedro Pascal
played.
His
face role in the universe. I'm sure he'll probably voice some other characters that do most.
Yeah, he'll continue to do GI Robot.
Yeah.
And actually, even though he's not physically like who I imagine as Maxwell Lord, Sean Gunn's a good choice. He's always dependable.
He's an underrated actor, and he's really good.
Yeah, he is. I remember before I knew anything about James Gunn, really, other than I think the movie Slither, was that his first indie horror thing that he made with his wife of the time, the lovely why am I blanking on her name? From The Office, Pam.
Oh yeah, I don't know her. What are you talking about?
Oh my God. Hey guys, I'm very old. But anyway, but yeah, Slither was that indie horror thing he did. But around that time when I was working at Warner Brothers, they had just started Gilmore Girls. So I used to see Sean Gunn walking around a lot because he was very funny on that. I like Robert John Burke in the fat suit and Stephen King's there. Oh, I mean, he did good acting. The makeup was pretty primitive.
Jen Fisher.
Jen Fisher, name? Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, just James. And again, if you're James Gunn, hey, way to go on the ex-wife. Sorry. You've got excellent taste, my friend.
Yes.
Most people hate it, but I thought he and the makeup were awesome. Well, he's a very good actor. And it wasn't the best Stephen King adaptation, but I've seen much worse Stephen King adaptations. I'm going to have to say, Thinner. I'll take it. Slither with Michael Rooker. Yeah. That's the thing also I love about James Gunn is when he finds people that he likes to work with, that he knows are going to deliver, Michael Rooker is like, his lucky charm, shows up in everything. Who knows what he'll be in the DCU, but he'll be there. And so he keeps everybody. It's not just his brother and his wife. He brings everybody along. You're like, oh, I wonder when this person will show up and that person. Maybe he'll have Margot Robbie show up again as Harley Quinn, or maybe she'll be a totally different character at some point.
Yeah.
Yes, Thinner, not Sliver. Oh, not Sliver. Yes, Slither, not Sliver. Right. The Naughty One with Sharon Stone. That was not a good movie. Even horny younger me was not interested in Sliver. It was just bad. Plus, it had a Baldwin, and not a good one.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, so
okay, I'm not going to go there.
No, it was I think that was Stephen Baldwin trying to be sexy. I know. Now he's muted himself. It's okay, Chad. You don't need to mute yourself. We can hear you laugh. There you go. Do we need to wrap up or what else we got to talk about?
Yeah, I think we
Creature Commandos, two thumbs up, guys.
Yeah.
Those of you who haven't seen it, get on it. And again, if you haven't finished Penguin.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm going to assume, this is me assuming, I don't know you, but I'm going to assume you have a life. Congratulations. I've loved this. This was a lot of fun, and I didn't expect anyone to show up.
I didn't either.
Oh my God, Vinegar Syndrome's doing Sliver. Vinegar Syndrome is interesting, an interesting label, boutique label. And I don't mean to brag, but I am in a film that got released from Vinegar Syndrome.
You are?
Shot on VHS back in the 90s when I was in Houston. Apparently this little cyberpunk drama for no money has kind of a cachet. And then it got like remastered as much as you can remaster it's called No Resistance. So if you guys go to Vinegar Syndrome and look up No Resistance, I'm not the lead. I've got like a 6-minute scene in it. But it's so weird that the director of that movie looked me up on Facebook, was like, "This is Brendan Jones, right, from Houston?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want to see a DVD of your of the movie we made a million years ago?"
Wow.
So anyway, I am now a Vinegar Syndrome star.
That's a trip. I didn't know that, man. That's a trip.
Oh yeah, and my acting, really, it's something. Oh, William Baldwin, thank you. I couldn't remember which of the Baldwins. Yeah, 90s cinema, it has a soft spot. If you can get through all the people trying to be knockoff Quentin Tarantino, that's always the trick. 90s cinema was a bunch of people going like, "Damn, Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, this really took off. I could do something like that." And then you get a lot of bad stuff. But you get things like Red Rock West, and that was a really good, indie noir from the time. Anyway, I will just babble. So let's wrap up. All you guys are the best for hanging with us in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. And Chad, we'll do this again. Do
Yeah.
a live one.
Why not? I think this was a success. Thanks to you guys.
Yeah. And we should do this when things debut. Like, for hell's sake, Daredevil Born Again, episode 1. I know that's
kidding
not
me.
Next year.
Yes.
Good Lord, I'll be there. Anyway.
Just FYI, our Penguin review will be out this week.
Oh, good. We did an Agatha All Along and Penguin wrap up. Both
that's
really
coming out hopefully on Friday. So.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, wherever you are located. I hope you also enjoyed Creature Commandos. Let's have some. Oh, thanks, James. Deep dives means blathering about stuff that doesn't matter. That's what
That's what it's all about, man.
That's what it's all about. Also, the hokey pokey. That's what it's also all about. All right, bye, guys. Get some sleep.
Thank you so much, guys. All right.
Bye.
Good night. Go to bed.
You too, Chad. It's really late there. I'm just going to leave. See you later, Chad. Bye.